Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cop Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you are on a fantastic day, wherever you are around the world. And welcome back to our post match reaction to Liverpool's 4-3 defeat, of course, to Bayern Munich. Of course, the last game in Singapore. Of course, the Reds do fly back, I believe, in a couple of hours. Of course, I think it's a 12-hour journey back from Singapore to Liverpool. But yes, the Reds have unfortunately lost by 4 goals to 3. Of course, doesn't mean anything realistically, because of course it is pre-season. But of course, I think there has been a bit of concern, certainly around some areas of the team. Anyway, of course, and obviously we've seen a bit of it today, where of course we were lacking in some areas as well. To be fair, but again, let me know how you lot are in the chat. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments section down below. Of course, obviously for me, I think, look, it's one of those games where you can take the positives, you can take the negatives, but again, a game that means nothing, and a game that had so many offsides that wasn't called, it was laughable at times as well. But again, let me know how all of you are in the chat as well down below. I will quickly share the stream as well, because again, I'm an empty and I completely forgot to do it before we came on air as well. So again, hopefully everyone's on a fantastic day. Again, we will be live for this as of right here, right now. Of course, we'll be live again at 9 o'clock. Obviously, we've got Andre news to cover. We've got Gabby Vega news as well that has come out. Of course, we're going to be talking all about that in tonight's episode. Anyway, as usually at 9 p.m. Anyway, there we go. The stream has been shared out as well. But let me know how you lot are in the comments as well. Of course, if there's anyone in as well, please do let me know how you lot are in the comments section down below. Of course, Bryson, good afternoon, Bry, I should say. Saying hi, Connor as well. Doug is in as well, saying attacking wise, we are very good. Gakpo, Salah, Nunez, Jota, and Luis Diaz all look sharp. Defensively, we look poor and beaten by a wonder strike. Also, the refereeing was shite at times as well. It was today. Again, was a very much a pre-season game. There's nothing to realistically take away from that performance in terms of officiating. Again, obviously, we can go into the fine details, and I think again, um, Liverpool were a bit unlucky. I think certainly in Bayern Munich's first goal, I think, and the second goal, I think, well, there might have been an offside during the build-up as well, which of course, obviously in normal circumstances, will get pulled up upon. But again, today, obviously, I think there's certainly, as you said, but there, Doug, going forward, of course, there's plenty, good to talk about. But I do think, obviously, defensively, there is a bit of concern. And of course, obviously, it's hard to judge because, again, we haven't got the players in at the present moment in time that, of course, will hopefully fill in those roles. But fingers crossed, it will happen over the next couple of days, and it needs to be in the next couple of days because, again, Liverpool defensively did not look good today as well. Anyway, but of course, we'll get on and we will talk about obviously the goals and of course the situations. Of course, we're going to discuss overall what happened today. Of course, obviously that was the team that started, and most likely apart from probably Matip, will most likely start against Chelsea as well. Obviously, Cody Gakpo getting Liverpool on the score sheet, of course, with the first 2 minutes of the game as well, which of course it was an absolutely lovely strike from Cody Gakpo. Obviously, Virgil van Dijk as well getting his goal. Obviously, first goal as Liverpool captain, official club captain anyway, of course. And I think Virgil had a very good performance as well at times today. Of course, obviously getting back to the Virgil of old. I think that's the best thing to say. Anyway, of course, obviously Virgil getting his goal, and of course Luis Diaz getting his goal as well to end. But again, again, looking at it and looking at the performances, Luis Diaz, at times as well in that second half, you can see, him improving slowly, slowly through preseason as well. We're going to discuss that. Of course, we're going to discuss Andy Robertson as well. For me, I think there's a conversation there with Andy Robertson because again, for me, did struggle again today with the system. Again, obviously not his fault, but again, I think that there is a conversation needed there on that left-sided centre-back position, of course, and we'll discuss Alexis McAllister injury as well. Obviously, of course, injury news concerning Alexis McAllister. We'll have that all for you. Obviously, speaking about it in today's show anyway. But again, let me know your comments. Let me know your guys' thoughts as we go on. Because again, it won't be a long stream. Probably about 20 minutes, half an hour long. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I say this. Normally, we do go about an hour when I do start talking. But yeah, hopefully half an hour it'll be. And then, of course, the transfer show will be 9 o'clock as usual tonight as well for you guys. Rival fans are also gassing themselves about us losing. I seen that on Twitter. Like, I think a load of United fans bragging about Liverpool losing. Look, at the end of the day, who cares? Like, again, I'd much rather Liverpool lose every single game of pre-season and then go on to win the league. Again, I wouldn't mind that at all. And again, look, pre-season, it's all about finding your shape, finding the rhythm, getting the nooks and crannies out, and then of course just fine tuning the team. Again, I don't really care about results. It's all about, again, injuries, making sure we have none, and then making sure again we get minutes in the legs, make sure our system is sorted, is in the correct shape. That is the most important thing, I believe anyway, for a pre-season. But yeah, again, I think United fan, haven't they lost 4 or 3 games in a row in pre-season? So I don't know what they're chatting about. Didn't watch it, just saw Spiders watch along as well. It was a good game for the neutral game, for the neutral. Sorry, it was a very good game, but you could tell by both teams. Again, both teams are looking for a holding midfielder, and you could tell that both teams don't currently hold a strong defensive midfielder. In that regard, I know that probably Bayern Munich have probably a defensive, probably better defensive team than Liverpool at the moment. Obviously, we're playing with Curtis Jones in the 6 at the present moment in time. So again, there's a bit of a a blatant gap there, I would say, in terms of what Liverpool need. As pretty much plain to see as well. But Brian says result in these friendlies are totally irrelevant. But teams shape work. But team shape work is as well. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And training games as well. Yeah, that's exactly what they are. They're nothing more, nothing less. They're very much just getting your shape, getting you sorted for the the new season ahead, and then fingers crossed that just progressively moving on. Because again, next week will be interesting with the game on Monday to see what Liverpool do in that game in particular. I think we do see pretty much the starting 11 for Chelsea. I think we saw it today, to be fair. Again, I'll quickly get the team up. Team 4 that started again today. I think this team is more or less the team that we will see starting against Chelsea. Obviously, at the start of the Premier League season, I think obviously with minus, I think Canate, I think obviously Joel Matip starting alongside Virgil van Dijk today. I do think though, obviously it will be Canate alongside Virgil, but that I think is more or less the team. I think the biggest argument as well could be, does he start Darwin Núñez? Does he start Cody Gakpo as well? I think that at the present moment in time, the way the squad is, I think is probably Klopp's biggest headache is who does he start up top. As I've said it for, I think pretty much all pre-season. I think I would start Darwin Núñez, even though I think Cody Gakpo, had a very, very good game today. And again, it's not just, again, Cody Gakpo is tied down to one position. Of course, Cody Gakpo can start, both as the false 9, or could even start a bit deeper in that regard. I think the only question though, because either Bryce saying again, Darwin or Gakpo is the only question. I think the other one as well is Jota or Luis Diaz. I think personally, I can see an argument for both. Like again, my front 3 would be Luis Diaz, Cody Gakpo, Luis Diaz, Darwin Núñez, and Mo Salah. That would be my front 3 for Chelsea, as things stand right now. But then I can easily see it being Jota and Gakpo in that regard as well. But I do think that the biggest question for Jurgen Klopp is it going to be Darwin or Cody Gakpo? I think next week will be the biggest tell as well. But again, of course, I think as Jurgen rightfully said after the game, though, as well, again, the boys will fly back. It will then be, of course, we'll fly back. There's probably going to be a day and a half off for Liverpool, and then we'll get back into it. I think those were the words from Jurgen Klopp as well. So again, of course, we got the last preseason game. Was it Monday? I think I said it was. So yeah, again, obviously there's a bit of a gap. Then of course of when of course we do get our next preseason game, but the rest writes itself as well. Yeah, absolutely. Big up Gary as well. Good seeing you, mate. Hopefully doing well. Seeing Talia all as well. Brian saying, yeah, fair. Diaz, Gakpo, and Salah is mine as well. Yeah, no, it's good the fact that Liverpool will at least have two players on the bench that can come on and have a significant impact then in that regard as well. For me, I think like it would be Darwin starting up top, but again, could happily be Cody Gakpo as well. But Liverpool must start keeping clean sheets as well. Yeah, it wasn't the best offensively, was it? To be fair, anyway. But we will move on. We'll talk about Cody Gakpo as well, getting that chance finished off. Of course, obviously beautiful play, obviously between him, Robbo, and I believe it was it Alexis McAllister as well got involved in it as well. I think it was. Oh no, it wasn't Alexis McAllister. It was Diogo Jota that got involved, of course. And obviously, it was a beautiful ball through, and Cody Gakpo absolutely slammed it into the top left corner to make it 1-0 Liverpool. And of course, it was a flying start in that regard. Of course, obviously, I think Bayern were very much shocked by the quick start from Liverpool because it was just straight away. Obviously, obviously Cody Gakpo getting the goal, and then of course it was quickly Virgil van Dijk then as well, obviously getting the second in terms of a cross as well, which for me obviously is nice to see Virgil back on the score sheet and back getting the goals as well. Obviously first got official goal as club captain as well, which of course it was amazing to see earlier on as well. And I think in terms of Virgil van Dijk, there were signs today that, of course, he is slowly getting back to his best. Now, of course, last season obviously got butchered alongside the rest of Liverpool's defenders in criticism. But again, I think today for me, I think Virgil van Dijk was, again the commanding self once again, which of course we all know that he has been as well. And I think, look, it has been a difficult period. Obviously, it's a big step for him personally now. Of course, becoming the Liverpool captain as well. And I think, look, he's taken the role by storm. And of course, we talk about natural leaders in the squad. I think Virgil is that absolutely as well. And he was kept busy quite a lot today, wasn't he? Of course, unfortunately, in that same bracket as well. But obviously, Bayern's goals, I think, obviously, if you guys watched the game, I think the first one from Gnabry was offside. I think that was blatantly to see. I think the referees and the officials today, again, don't know whether or not if they thought offside wasn't a thing today. I think it was no rules football in that regard. But again, in a normal situation, would have been offside, you get miles off. I think he was like 2 or 3 yards in front of Joel Matip when he got the ball. But again, was given as a goal. And even the second one for Bayern as well, of course, a pass across, obviously poor defending, and of course, I think Jurgen spoke about it in terms of again, putting the ball through again wasn't the best in that regard, but again, hopefully things can get fine tuned in that regards anyway. But of course, Luis Diaz getting the third in the second half for Liverpool, which get the third goal for Liverpool. Of course, obviously equalising. Of course, Bayern did go ahead in the second half as well. But of course, Luis Diaz making it 3-3 as well. But obviously, Liverpool then did went on to concede a fourth goal. Obviously, it was a very, very good goal in that regard. Of course, obviously, nothing Alisson could do as well. But I think that the biggest thing I think just talking about Bayern Munich slightly, of course, they are missing two key areas of the pitch. I think obviously they've made a really good signing in Kim from Napoli. I think that's a very good signing. I think Kim Min Jae, isn't it? from Napoli. I think that's a very good signing from Bayern Munich. But again, I think that the blatantly obvious thing, and again, this is of course with me saying, of course, with by the way they've scored 4 goals, but for me they are missing a number 9. But again, when I think in games, if teams manage to cancel out, of course, the wingers in terms of Gnabry and Leroy Sane, I think, of course, when they do need a number 9, it's going to be very much a struggle for them in that regard. But again, defensive midfield, I think there's even conversations that I think Bayern Munich are looking at a loan deal for Tchouaméni, I think, as things stand as well. But again, I don't think Madrid will be doing that type of deal anyway. But one thing I did want to quickly talk about as well, obviously, I'm going to talk about Andy Robertson in a minute, but talk obviously, of course, Alexis McAllister went down at on literally half time as well with a knee injury. Of course, obviously, Jurgen Klopp has confirmed that, again, no problems with Alexis McAllister, was just taken off as precaution, no injury worries. Of course, McAllister could have played on, but of course, Liverpool don't want to risk anything, of course, because we do have 4 midfielders at the club at the minute, which of course we do have to take precaution in the midfield area, of course. But again, it was good news the fact that again there were no injuries concerned, just a bruised knee. I think Jurgen spoke about, which of course good news in that regard as well. But of course, hopefully, we'll have more news on midfielders coming in the next 24 hours. Fingers crossed. But again, that's the major thing. But again, the most important thing is Szoboszlai again looked impressive. Apart from the kit man ruining the back of his name on the kit. If you guys have not seen the photo, then please go and do so. It's pretty funny in that regard. But again, good news, no injury concerns around Alexis McAllister anyway. But one thing I did want to talk about before we do head off anyway is Andy Robertson, and how for me, again, I know people will go on about DM and this, that, and the other. For me, the left-sided centre back in the back three needs to be fixed ASAP, and it isn't. And look, it isn't Andy Robertson's fault. It is very much the system, and Andy Robertson does not suit it. Again, if Liverpool are going to play 4-3-3, which of course at times we might do this season, I think Robbo would be perfect. Once again on that left back area, bombing forward. Once Liverpool are out of position and the rest defence, the shape in the rest defence is awful. And if you don't know what rest defence is, of course, go and look it up. Again, obviously, if I try and explain that, I'll explain it wrong. But the shape when Liverpool lose the ball, and then, of course, the transition, in possession to out of possession. Again, Andy Robertson's position isn't great. And again, it does massively affect the rest, the back 4 or 3, and of course the midfield as well. In that regard, I think we need to sign a left-sided centre back ASAP, or of course somebody who can play left back and left-sided centre half. I think, of course, we're going to do a video, I think, tomorrow, doing it as well. Of course, it will be a video, because, of course, we do have a couple of people to speak about on the list for Liverpool. And, of course, look, it's not Andy Robertson's fault. And, again, people will just, go on to blame him purely because, again, he's playing the role okay. It's just not what Liverpool need. And I think what this Liverpool team awfully reminds me of at the moment is Klopp's first full season in 16-17, or 15-16, whichever way around it is, where Liverpool would, again, going forward, was probably the best team in the league. And again, I think Liverpool will be up there in terms of goals and in terms of attacking plays as well. Defensively, though, it might be the case of Liverpool going, right, well, if you're going to score 2, we're going to score 4 in that regard. And that's not a good, because when we talk about going for titles and when we talk about going for the top end of the league, you can't really do that. You can get top 4 by doing that. You can, absolutely. And Liverpool have done that in the past. But you can't be going and taking that next step up, if that makes any sense. And I think that, again, DM, of course, is a massive need for Liverpool. Absolutely it is. But I also think that left-sided centre-back is even more crucial than a DM as well. And once we got them two sorted, then you can look at and judge where the team is and where Liverpool are moving, and Liverpool are moving forward as well. I think that's the most important question in that regard, anyway. But again, I think there's, of course, it's only pre-season. There's nothing to be, again, awfully concerned. But again, realistically, Robbo is going to be the starting left-sided centre back in for the start of the season at least. You'd hope that, fingers crossed, Liverpool will move themselves in the transfer window, get the DM finally sorted in the next couple of days, and then hopefully, of course, we'll have things sorted out. But again, um, we can't be rushing things. I don't think in terms of the team. Like, we can't be bringing in someone and then going, right, you're starting tomorrow. We can't be doing that, unless of course it is an elite player in that regard. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments, at least anyway, on everything that we've mentioned, as well. Let me quickly dive into the comments. There we go. Brian saying, hopefully we get 2 more in ASAP. Yeah, that's the hopeful scenario anyway. Fingers crossed. Hi mate, I hope you're well. Hope you're doing well, Chris. Hopefully you're all good, mate. Couldn't care less. I wish I brought a drink, but yeah, my mouth keeps getting dry. Couldn't care less about pre-season. I'm not worried about Leafs falling off a tree than us losing and winning games in pre-season as well. Yeah, I'd agree. Just bang on the knee. Yeah, with Alexis McAllister, all good news for Alexis McAllister. Absolutely, 100%. Attack. Attack was sharp, defensively shambles. Again, Matip is finished. Has been after 2022. Centre back and a DM desperately needed. It's only a 5 or 6 10 out the window so far at best. Yeah, exactly. I think if Liverpool got Lavia, Andre, and a left-sided centre back, I think that'd be a good window, like a really good window. Again, though, Liverpool, in an ideal world, Liverpool would sign 2 more midfielders and 2 more centre halves, and then because that's the problem. But the other thing as well is we haven't seen Joe Gomez play, and again, I've been a massive, and I mean a massive hater of Joe Gomez. Actually, not hater, a critique for Joe Gomez, because again, Joe Gomez in 1920 was unbelievable, um, and that's the real frustrating part. Or 1819, sorry. And I think the Canate role, we haven't seen Gomez play that yet. It's always been Joel Matip on the right hand side for Liverpool, which again, I don't know whether or not if Joe Gomez isn't comfortable enough for playing it. Of course, he's not. We've seen when things are being played out and there's no Trent in defence as well. It's been Kostas Tsimikas playing the inverted role, not Joe Gomez. So for me, I'd like to see Joe Gomez play that role, because I think he probably could do it better than Joel Matip for now. But again, if we can replace, if we can get a left-sided and a right-sided centre back, that would be a perfect world in that regard. Anyway, but yeah, absolutely agree. Van Dijk needs to be at right centre back and sign a left-footed centre back as well. Yeah and no, I would say. Again, we need somebody who can play left back and centre back at the same time. So out of possession, it is a 4-3-3. In possession, it's a 3-2-2-3. That's what we need anyway. But perfect world is Saicedo and Carvajal. They've gone. So we need the next best as well. Yeah, absolutely. I think Carvajal, I think that got announced today, didn't it, with City? There had been a deal agreed, I think for 77 million, which again, Liverpool should be all over that, but we're not, unfortunately. Can't start the season with Lavia as our only DM as well. We got Stefan Bajcetic as well coming in over me, guys. So in theory, that's 2 in that regard. If it's Andre Lavia, we should be getting both and getting in an Asio as well. We have the money. I don't believe this nonsense. We don't have money as well. Yeah, I'd agree. Absolutely 100%. No room for error neither. No, they have to be right. Again, we can't gamble with signings. They have to be absolutely 100% correct, and the best possible as well. for Liverpool. Bloody hell, my mouth got super dry. So chat. We can't do what City did and buy Phillips or Grealish and wait a year to bet them in. Yeah, they have to work straight away. We need an experienced DM, 25, 26, European football experience, not Lavia and a kid from Brazil. We're Liverpool, not Brighton as well. I would say yes and no with this because I think all of us would be pretty happy with Moises Caicedo, and Caicedo's 21. That's the only thing I would say. I do agree though in the sense of if Liverpool got Lavia and a player like that, 25, 26, 27, a bit more experience with the DM position, then yeah, absolutely I would agree 100%. But again, the DM market, it's rare, and when the problem is, well, you're paying big prices for DMs this summer, unfortunately, as well. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Of course, obviously for me, the standouts today, again, I think obviously not the it's not anything that was a massive standout. I think obviously Luis Diaz in the second half, you saw qualities from him. I think obviously Cody Gakpo, you saw him as well, certainly in that first half. Dominic Szoboszlai as well. I think again it was absolutely chaotic. First 60 minutes I think for Dominic Szoboszlai as well. So again, just absolute chaotic midfielder he is, and again looking very much forward to seeing what he does this season. Again, McAllister as well, only getting started with him. And he can only get better in this new system as well for Liverpool. So again, hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll fine tune a few things, and hopefully we'll have a few more signings coming in the next couple of days as well. But of course, we will have a show at 9 p.m. again today. We're going to talk about obviously Andre. There's been reports in Brazil that there has been an official bid from Liverpool. So of course, hopefully we'll have a bit more news coming out over the next couple of the next couple of hours, fingers crossed as well. Of course, we'll talk him. Gabri Veiga as well has also been spoken about today, which again, those rumours coming out of the blue, of course, but we're going to be majorly talking about them in tonight's episode. Anyway, but but a year at Brighton has shown Caicedo can adapt to England. Andre could completely fail to settle or take 12 months to show he can. I think he can do as well. Yeah, absolutely, I agree, Brian. For me, I've said it for you guys. The number one DM for me would be Florentino Luis. Again, would be perfect for Liverpool. Like we said, if you want a like for like replacement for Fabinho, Florentino Luis is that guy. Because again, out of possession, play the DM as normal in a 4-3-3. In possession, can play alongside Trent, can play the ball well, interceptions very good. That's the thing. The problem is Liverpool aren't looking at him. Like Liverpool have looked at him throughout the summer and gone, yeah, we're not going to sign him. And that's the thing where supposedly we've looked at so many DMs this summer where even Andre now completely out the blue yesterday, and then when Melissa Reddy reported on it, everyone's like, "Oh, that's a name Liverpool have been linked to." Let's have a look who he is. Like last night, for example, there was probably loads of Liverpool supporters watching the game last night. Of course, obviously that leg break was horrific. If you guys have seen it, that was horrible to see. But of course, not for Andre, by the way. Of course, was another player on the pitch. But that's the type of players that Liverpool are looking at. They're looking at the wider scale of things. Of course, Liverpool, in my opinion, I'd much rather Liverpool go on and buy a player that would normally go to a Brighton and then Liverpool end up splashing 60, 70 million pounds on. I'd rather take a gamble on someone now, but that's only if we go and sign, the one player that we've been wanting all summer by the looks of things in Romeo Lavia. That's where I want. Anyway, I want Liverpool to go Lavia and Andre as well. That's what I would like for Liverpool to do. To be fair, Højbjerg, get in the bin, right? Get in the bin. Get it done as well. Yeah, absolutely. And Benfica won the 80s to 90s. That's the market now. It is, and that's what Liverpool have to get themselves sorted for. Again, if the rumours are true that again it's only going to cost Liverpool 50 million for Lavia, go and do it. That's the major thing for me. Hello, Ricky. I can just see you in the comments as well. Anyway, but guys, we are going to leave it there for the post-match reaction. Anyway, of course, big thank you to all of you guys for tuning in. Like I said, tonight we will be live at 9 o'clock as well for obviously the latest Liverpool news episode. Of course, obviously we're going to talk about Andre. We're talking about Gabby Veiga as well. Obviously, there's been a bit of news concerning both of them anyway. But again, hopefully you lot have a fantastic rest of your Wednesday anyway. Hopefully, we'll see you all later on. Of course, obviously make sure you tune in tonight at 9 o'clock. Of course, we'll be previewing it or it'll be brought up anyway shortly after the stream anyway. But most importantly, no injuries. That's the main positive I think from today. Is again no injuries, happy days, and yeah, fingers crossed we'll see movement in the market anyway from Liverpool in the next couple of days. Fingers crossed anyway. But I've been calling it from the Cup Council. See you later on. Ta-ra.